in the context of that. But mentoring is basically when you're looking to somebody who has more experience in an area that you'd like to get experience in, and how can you help that person help you get that experience. And I think it's really important, and this is a thing again, I think women don't think about their networks the same way, and they probably don't think about mentoring the same way. But make sure that you really are establishing a mentor. And it sounds like a big, heavy thing, but one of the things we have at Sun is a mentoring at Sun relationship. And actually, once people have been through the formal program, it becomes the informal program. But let me just share with you some steps that might be practical steps for you to take. But essentially, if you have an area that you're working on or an area that you're interested in, if you can identify that person, whether it be within the company or outside the company, again, depending on what you're trying to do from a network, arrange to see them, ask them if they'll make a 6-month commitment, and you can, again, contract with them about what it is you're working on, how you think you could, if they would be willing to help you with that. So I'll just give my personal example. So I had my MBA in finance and general management. I ended up, so I have kind of analytical bent, right? And I end up in human resources, but I was never very strong on the marketing side of things. And when you're in human resources, you actually have to kind of market your programs because you want people to use them and have them understand the value of the things that you're proposing doing. So I identified a woman VP in marketing, and I went to her and I said, look, I'm working on these projects. I need to do a much better job of rolling them out. Do you think you could help me sort of step back and think about how to position these things more effectively? So we established that relationship. We met, probably every 2 to 3 weeks for a 6-month period. And she was able to, I could bring in actual assignments I was working on and have her give me some advice on how to position them. So it's something that I was able to, learn from her. I think the important thing there too is that when you not only gain your skills out of that relationship, but I gained a sponsor. I had somebody in the organization now, because she'd invested in me, she was vested in my success. And so the great thing about mentoring is not the just immediate satisfaction of learning skills, but it's also, am I losing my mic? But it's also being able to build that sponsorship. And if you do that multiple times, then you create a whole pool of sponsors. So I would encourage each of you to make sure at least you have one female, and one male sponsor somewhere in your organization or somewhere in the network that you're providing. And again, it's not a 3-year commitment. Try to block it into a time frame and around a specific objective that you can focus on with them. I think the last key thing is that as the mentee, you need to be driving that relationship. So you need to come prepared to those meetings, and you need to be very specific about what it is you want. I also mentor people, and I would encourage anyone at any level to mentor people, because there's always people that don't know as much as you do, and it makes you feel really good to realize how much you do know. But I had a mentee that, she was on the same campus, wouldn't come to my office, and she was shuffling papers the entire time we're supposed to be having our mentor-mentee, discussion. Well, that created a really negative impression with me, and she's no longer here at Sun. But yeah, don't cross me, because I'm in charge of talent here. But you just. Don't enter into this thinking you can just kind of slough by. I mean, you have to be the one driving it. But if you do it well, you will create a good impression on people, and you will build sponsorship, and that's really, really valuable.
I think those are great points. I mean, absolutely. I absolutely think those are wonderful points, and certainly appreciate the fact that as you get others in the organization familiar with your work, and if they really take an interest in you and believe in your competence, that you're going to have champions. As I was growing up, I didn't really have any mentors. I at least found for myself that back at that time, my perception was that women were not as supportive of other women. Particularly in the legal field. And so while there were female partners at the law firm where I was, it was very difficult to get any assistance. And I think that's really changed a lot. And organizations such as this and Forum for Women Entrepreneurs and Executives have created a very important and welcoming environment for young women and more seasoned women in their careers to, to choose mentors. Women are more approachable about giving their time and their expertise. I think it's absolutely vital. And if you can find somebody who has been successful, who has a value system that's aligned with yours, one that you can learn from, that will go a long, long way in your ability to succeed, whatever it is that you end up wanting to do. Typically, those women or men have amazing networks where you can leverage that relationship and network and continue to build your network and network with other people. So the role that it serves, I think, is very important. I agree that be organized when you're approaching a mentor. Know what you want to get out of it, and also don't have a sense of entitlement around the relationship. Probably more often than not, the mentor is juggling a lot of other things on his or her own plate and is carving out special time for you. And I would treat that as a privilege that's been given to you that you should make the most of. So I think in today's world it's very different for women and their ability to choose or approach women as mentors, and I certainly would encourage it 100%.
So I have a slightly different slant on the role of mentors and my own experience. I've had a number of really good mentors throughout my corporate experience, but two people who have made an indelible mark on my own life have both been men. One was my dance teacher, and what he taught me very early on as a mentor was there's nothing that's more rewarding than hard work and persistence, and if there's something that you really like, pursue it. There'll be a lot of pitfalls, but you've got to stay on your course, and hard work does eventually get rewarded. That was my mantra growing up. It was something that I passionately believed in and followed it, and to date it's my mantra. And the second very, very important impression made on me was my husband, who has been an amazing mentor for me in the past 19 years, which is, especially as a leader, he stressed the importance of not being overly judgmental of people around you, and that even when there are instances when you want to sock the person in front of you on the head, hold your course, because you never know when roles are reversed, or you need to depend on this person for something incredibly crucial. So never be judgmental and stay calm. As you probably noticed, I am, by nature, a lot more extroverted, animated person. So it's easy for me to get carried away in emotions. But I learned from him very easily how to control it, and especially when you're upset about some things. And it's very, very easy when you're under stress in a startup environment, especially to get carried away. So that was my biggest learnings from two very, very important mentors in my life.
Great, thank you. At this time, we have a few minutes for questions from the audience. So it looks like the mic is getting passed around.
I will.
Yeah.
No, I had a question, but you guys did touch upon it. I'm Reshma, and I would like to thank you all for giving us such knowledgeable insight. I'm a founder of a network for Muslim working women, Hikmah. And one of the important aspects is the academic pathway before you get onto your career. And today I'm very pleased to have at least 5 or 6 young women here. They're high school girls. And one of the objectives we have is to connect the young girls to pick a career and have an academic pathway that takes them to success. So what do you have as a suggestion for young girls here? I know all of you have had excellent careers and have chosen excellent schools for your academic pathways. So if you can help us guide these girls